Well, welcome to My Toy Life. We may be a minute late, but we're always on time. I hope you've had a good day. It's kind of hot here. Help us out. Subscribe, like, share, get the word out. Tell your friends. Bring everybody you can to our show. Tonight is, 36? Is that what it is? Or 30, 35, something like that. Let me see here. It's 37, isn't it? Yeah, 37. So we're excited to have Steve with us, and he'll be on in just a minute. Right now, I'm going to bring in Rick, my good buddy.
How you doing, Terry? Ready for another
great.
show.
Just a little warm, yeah. Just a little warm.
Yep.
And me and you with our pink skin, and we got to bring on Stacy, the red man.
He's smart. He gets out in the sun.
That's awful.
But anyway, I don't know. Most everybody probably already has this.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all can see it.
Captain Action. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Is yours still in the box like mine is? Never even took him out. Never even checked him out, but I sure did like it when it came out.
That was
And
a nice
I started to buy them all. I really did.
Yep.
But I only got Spider-Man.
Captain America.
Apparently there was a chase set. Y'all know what the chase set was?
Mm-mm.
Hawk.
No.
It was Hawk.
Oh,
You get one piece in each one of the uniform sets.
Yeah.
And if you have all the uniform sets, then you have Hawk. Boy, oh boy, I saw Hawk the other day, $75 just for Hawk. or Hawkeye, however you say his name. Hawkeye.
Hawkman or whatever.
Hawkman, yeah. Murray always keeps me straight.
Yep, Hawkeye.
And he says, heck no, is out of the box. You know, you got a package on the way, Murray. Make sure you take a video of your package when you get it, okay? We want to see an unboxing or something.
Yeah, we want to see an unboxing.
Yeah, so what do you got, Rick?
I got a couple things to show very quickly.
Okay. Let me pull Rick up here so he can be seen real easy.
This is
Oh, that's cool.
This is 1/5 scale. It's made by Recure, Requr. I got this off of Amazon. Several years ago.
Oh.
And I didn't see him on Amazon anymore. I'm sure you can find him somewhere, but he's pretty neat.
I got just the black one.
But the black one.
Yeah, but I don't know remember where I got the black one at.
I gotta have 3 because then I would flock them.
Oh, Rick froze. Oh man.
No. I love that.
While he's frozen, there he is. He's back.
Did I freeze?
Oh yeah, you froze.
Oh no!
While you were looking for something.
Did you see the Joe next to him?
No, we didn't see him because you froze.
Show us again.
I showed the Joe next to him, so you get an idea how big he is. You see me still? There we go.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's cool. Are they still available?
I like that.
You can't get them on Amazon, but I'm sure if you look around and go with, he's made by Requr. Recure.
Requr.
Okay, Recure.
You can probably find them.
I'm gonna look them up. I gotta have 3 of those.
You gotta have 3.
I'm gonna flock
them. You're gonna have to flock one.
White, brown, and black. Yep.
So is everyone familiar with this?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the vamp, the classified vamp.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I found this at a G.I. Joe show a month ago. It was the only one there. I snagged it. I got it for a really good price. And are you familiar with Gridiron Studios?
No,
I've heard of them. I have not seen.
Ryan makes 112 scale and 118 scale weapons and add-ons, backpacks. They do add-ons for the vehicles, and this is what the vamp looks like with the gridiron
Oh
add-on.
wow!
So they make this front guard.
Yeah,
They make covers for the lights.
the lights. Yeah.
They make a hood that you replace the original hood with that has neat stuff on it, roll cage.
Oh yeah.
They do a roof, which has a roll cage and comes with, let's see if I can do this, what they call skeleton doors
Right.
that open up like this.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Love it.
And
Wow.
the back has a roll cage, which is made to fit, the big 50 caliber machine guns. I'm going to keep mine without machine guns or anything and make it more of a, an adventure vehicle,
Right.
Why can't they make that stuff for like 1/6 scale?
Someone probably does. But that Gridiron Studios is amazing.
Here's
Ah!
my black one.
Yeah.
Oh, I love his eyes.
I had a couple of those.
Yes, they are hideous. I love
I
them.
have one.
Not as good looking as that pink one.
Oh,
It's not as good looking as the pink one.
I
why
put a
did I
little.
not know about this earlier?
I put a little dry brush on mine to bring out the fur,
Yeah.
make them look more like a silverback. It came out pretty nice. He's
So
down
what do
here.
you got to show us there? Or do you have something else, Rick?
Nope, that's it. That's all I
All
got.
right. So we come back to Red Man.
Okay. Well,
Stacy's been
I
in
want to give a
film
shout
little
out
bit
to
now.
a good Joe buddy. His name is Chucky Church. He saw that I collect a bunch of different stuff other than G.I. Joe. So he sent me a few figures. So he sent me a $6 million man, Oscar Goldman with some stuff, another Evel Knievel.
I love the way you're just throwing around those $65 and $70 figures right there. You just
You like that? You like that? Fonzie with the thumbs up action. Yay! Spock, a Kirk. These are all vintage stuff. Supergirl, Wonder Woman.
Wow.
They're going to be sitting with Captain Kirk right now. And that's we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so he also sent me a Superman, and I remember going down riding to Kmart with some extra money that I had and buying in 1972 when Mego first came out with Superman. And he sent me the Superman, and this was the uniform that it came in, and you see it's pretty bad shape.
Right.
So I found a reproduction uniform that's just like the vintage, and the Superman was broken, and his hair was scuffed up pretty bad. So I bought replacement parts, and then I repainted his hair, his eyebrows. I had to touch up his eyes, but that's an original style uniform. It's a reproduction.
That's amazing. That's just amazing.
Yeah, it looks good. No.
But the eyes were messed up. And then I also picked up this little reproduction box because that's what he would have came in 1972. And
yeah.
so
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Migos.
Well,
yeah.
Wow.
Without further ado, let's bring on our guest. I've known Steve for a long time. He's a great guy. Here he is now, Steve Stovall.
Hey, hey, everybody.
Welcome.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here tonight.
I think I bumped into you that one day riding in the elevator, and you were trying to sell the what was it? The 30th anniversary astronaut that you had made with the gold suit.
Perhaps. 30th anniversary might have been somebody else too.
Maybe didn't you make an astronaut uniform for G.I. Joe?
We did one for no, we didn't do a gold uniform, but we did a uniform for the 50th anniversary of the Apollo landing. We did that for the show back in 19.
Wow. Well, all your stuff is neat. And every time I could kick myself for not getting the Ranger.
I didn't do the Ranger. That was the guys out of North Carolina did that.
They did that. Well,
Yeah.
tell us about the show. It's coming up. What, in 2 weeks?
No.
Or
We're about a month away. We're in July 20th, and the
July
preview night,
20th.
the Friday night before the 19th. If for the folks that have been there before, we've expanded it. We're taking the whole convention center, so this is going to be our biggest show to date, and we've got a lot of vendors. In fact, if you're looking for 12-inch, we're probably the best show around for vintage 12-inch and current modern 12-inch. And then, strangely enough, I got a lot of people this time that are going to be selling classified. So, and then we always have a good number of people selling 3 3/4. So but it's, like some of the shows you go to, they'll have other toys and comic books or things like that. We're about 80% GI Joe and action figures. So it's a good fun show. And this will be our 11th year doing the summer show. And
that's in Kentucky,
we just didn't
right?
In Kentucky. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did you get started doing shows?
Well, we'd been, we had a local club, and we'd always kind of talked about doing something because we'd been to other shows, and we said, well, let's try something and do it like a show that we'd want to go to. And so we kind of picked a date at one point and said, okay, this is going to be the first one. I think we had 13 tables, and we let everybody in for free and said, you got to get that first one under your belt, and then you can kind of start building your reputation. And then it's grown every year since. And amazingly, during the COVID year, the way the rules were in Kentucky, we were able to still have our show. So we're probably the longest continuous running show out there right now.
Yeah, Murray says
straight.
Congratulations, Steve.
Yeah. Thank you, Murray.
I hear nothing but good stuff about your show. Nothing but good stuff.
And I appreciate that. We like I said, we built it as a show we'd want to go to, and I'm happy that other folks like that too. And it's a lot of fun and a lot of good people all the time. It just keeps growing.
How did you get started collecting?
Oh, back when I was a kid, I think when my dad passed away several years ago, we started looking at old family slides. And I think when I was 2, I got my first G.I. Joe, a talking man of action. And I've just been hooked on G.I. Joe ever since.
Amazing. You guys got a question for Steve?
Do you have any of your original Joes?
I do. It's funny because when we were kids, and I have an older brother, we had G.I. Joe, we had Johnny West, we had Big Jim and Mego superheroes and whatnot. But for some reason, when we hit that stage where you got rid of your toys, we kept the G.I. Joes, sold the vehicles. So my Jeeps and my ATVs and whatnot, but I kept the figures. And none of the other stuff, like the Johnny West and all that stuff all went away. But we did keep the original G.I. Joe. So I've got a little shelf in my collection that's got, I think, 5 of my original Joes, including the last one I got when they were still out, which is my original Bullet Man.
Wow.
So would that be considered your favorite Joes of all, considering even what you collect now? Or do you have something that's more prized to you?
Well, they're probably more sentimental attachment to them because I've got, when I was a kid and I had a little camera and took pictures of them, and I've got some of the pictures I took of them, set them up in the yard, and they have just a lot more character and experience. But there's a lot of fun stuff out there.
Is that your collection or some of your collection behind you?
No, I'm at my brother's auction house today, and so this is the auction house.
Those are price tags back there, huh?
Yeah, and so that's stuff that's going to be an auction.
Cool. Must be nice. I bet you get your first pick, right?
Well, it's an auction. I have to compete with everybody else when stuff comes through. There's been a lot of neat stuff come through. Unfortunately, there haven't been any great G.I. Joes, but there's been a lot of other cool toys and other neat things come through.
How many GI Joes do you have in your collection now?
I don't count them.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
I pretty much have one for the original military and adventure team. I have one in every uniform, and then
Oh
um,
wow.
yeah, and then probably some extras and some other stuff and whatnot. And then of course I accidentally got into Super Joe and I got a whole bunch of Super Joe stuff too, and part of the group that's making Super Joe again. So,
True.
and then run the 3D Super Joe site. So there's a lot of stuff.
Now, which is the Super
got a
Joe that's
question
going to
here.
be the one to collect? Is it the because they made 12-inch ones, and then they're making the small.
Well, honestly, the stuff that we're making now in Super Joe's, I don't know that it's ever gonna, it's something to collect if you're
Yeah.
looking for value in the future. It's just something it's fun and they're neat figures, and it's a scale that doesn't take up as much space as a 12-inch figure does,
True.
and there's just a lot of fun, and because it only ran for 2 years. It's kind of wide open. It can be anything you want it to be. It can be science fiction. It can be adventure oriented or whatever.
Yeah.
We have a question here where he says he has a Super Joe, but he's in pieces. Do you sell parts for them?
If you go to the 3D Super Joe website, we have a tutorial to how to rebuild them, and we're working on a rebuild kit. We haven't got it, working with the factory and getting one that we're satisfied with, but we do sell replacement hands. So we can sell you replacement hands, and then I've got it, like I say, on the 3D site, we've got a way that you can repair them and have them displayable, and eventually we'll have full replacement joints available.
Cool.
There's your answer. And this Keith says, do you have any diorama work?
I've done some stuff, but one of the neat things that I did for a couple shows ago, and I had people over to my house to see the collection and whatnot. I took my dining room table and set a big Planet of the Apes Mego display, and I think I had 30 ape soldiers all standing up with no stands, and then the tree houses and some of the other stuff, and it was just amazing that nobody bumped into the table, because when I set them up, I bumped into it a couple times and they all went over like dominoes. But when I had all the people, and I had a full house of people over, the apes survived it. But it's eventually we'll get that set up again and let people have a chance to see it. It was a lot of fun.
You mentioned,
go ahead.
You
Rick.
mentioned classified Joes. You get some sellers
Yes.
at your show. What do you think about that line, Steve? Are you familiar with it?
I've actually collected that line. I didn't collect the 3 3/4 Joes. I had one as a kid because I think what happened is when they came out, my mom bought me one because G.I. Joe was back, and I still have that one. But then I really didn't get into the 3 3/4 Joes. I was out of the Joe phase by that time. But once these classified came out, I picked up a couple of them, and I said, they were really neat, and they posed well for photographs. So, and I actually used some to do little advertising for the show, making some photos. And then I just kept getting them. And, I picked up the Vamp, I picked up the Hiss tank, and it's neat stuff. And it's fun stuff. So it's good to see. And it's popular. They sell out.
Yeah. It's very popular. Did very well. It was funny because when the promo pictures came out for that line, nobody liked it. Everyone was like, "Oh, no." And I'm talking even the younger people, I was like, I think they're cool. And I got them as soon as they came out. I thought they were great.
Yep.
Yeah,
no, I got the first one. The first Snake Eyes that came out, I got him, and then I took him out of the package and posed him around. I said, "This is kind of cool," which I think has always been the key to G.I. Joe. They've been posable, even when they were the 3 3/4. They were more, they were more articulate than Star Wars figures and other stuff. So that was the key to the play value with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody is wanting to know if you're going to be at the DFW show with Super Joe parts.
Now the Jason, who's the other guy that does Super Joe with me, will be there, and he'll be set up. He does the Strike Force 3 3/4 figures, and so he'll have those there, and then he'll have some Super Joe stuff. I don't know if he'll have parts. I'm unfortunately, but for scheduling, I'm just coming in Saturday morning. I'm going to do the Super Joe presentation that they're having there, the seminar on Super Joe, and then Sunday morning I'll be heading back to Louisville. So it'll be a quick hit and run for DFW this year. But if somebody's looking for something, they can send me a message or an email, and I can throw it in the suitcase and bring it Saturday.
Okay. Did you hear that action, Joe Figs? He said if you need something, send him a message. He said he needs hands.
He needs hands, yeah.
He needs hands for Super.
I'll bring some hands. Tell him to come to the seminar, and we'll hook him up.
All right, there's your answer. You come to the seminar, and you heard it first on our show. Well, tell us a little bit about your involvement with Bullet Man.
Many years ago, we were at the I guess the Bullet Man had taken a life on at the G.I. Joe conventions, and then there was a group, it was the Defenders of Bullet Man, that had kind of tried to make him popular again. And then I think it was the show in San Francisco. There was a group of us that had built it was a group diorama in the competition, and it came in second, and everybody was disappointed, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do that night. And typically at the shows, they would do a parachute drop where people would go find the parking garage or something. And because this particular hotel had a big atrium, I just kind of made the comment, hey, we should put a string up and fly Bullet Man through the hotel. Well, two of the other guys, Dave Pisani and Todd Pleasant, were there, and their minds just started going. And so then we along with Jim Bush, we hopped in a car and went out to find a place to buy fishing line, because they said, well, the regular string won't hold up. We'll need a more durable string. And before, shortly after that, we were back and we set it up and got to fly Bullet Man 13 stories down from the top of the hotel to the floor. And that was at the time that Don Levine was out pushing I think they were getting ready to start pushing the 40th anniversary figure. So he was there, and somebody saw him, and we brought him up there. And there's a picture of a group of us getting ready to launch Bullet Man, playing with the guy that built G.I. Joe. So that was fun.
Yes.
And then after that, Bullet Man just kind of took a life of his own, and you used to be able to get them cheap, and now you don't anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
But you still have a few for sale, don't you?
Oh, we have a lot, and we've got to put some together, and we'll have some. Hopefully, we'll have some in July.
Okay.
But yeah, I do. Down at the auction warehouse, we have a big warehouse where we have a bunch of parts and pieces and stuff, and we were just kind of sorting through, and we had a whole lot more Bullet Man than we thought we did.
Yeah.
Good.
A lot. They just have to be reassembled.
What are they going for when you get them? Do you put them in that bubble package? Is that how you're selling them, or do you sell them loose?
We sell them loose. We don't repackage them that way. Although I do have a carded one that an original unsealed carded one that we'll sell at the show. But I think they're probably going, depending, depends on how nice the uniform is. If it has the original sticker, how nice the helmet is. I'd say a really nice loose one probably would be around 300. One that might have a replacement sticker or some stuff like that, or some wear on the helmet, would probably be in the 100 to 200 range.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell my friend Angelo about that. He's a big Bullet Man fan.
Now you're being silly, Stacy. Angelo hates Bullet Man.
I know he does. He can't get away from it. It's not my fault.
Well, my son bought me one for my birthday one year, and whoever he bought it from sent that picture and said that this Bullet Man had been held by the creator. But when I posted a picture on one of the sites, they said, no, that's not. I got the Bullet Man that was held by the creator. So I don't know where mine is from.
I will tell you the story. The Bullet Man that we launched that night came from Dean Morrison, because he had a couple of them in his booth. And so we got one of his. And on the first flight, everything went fine. On the second flight, he didn't quite hit right when he landed. And he lost a few fingers off his hand. So if you got one that's got all his fingers, then he's clearly not the one that flew, because that one had some battle injuries. I suspect Dean probably still has him.
Yeah, Dean probably does. And I heard that Dean's going to be at your show too.
He is. He's been there for several of the shows.
I really like.
Dean's a good guy. We have a lot of good vendors at our show. I think we'll probably have over 60 vendors before it's all done.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. That sounds like it. I wish I could get up there. I just wish I could go.
Me too.
And Rick, you'd have to come all the way from what? Massachusetts?
Yeah, New Hampshire. Yeah, it's a long drive.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of years ago, I had a guy fly from Seattle fly into the show, and then I think one year, in one of the earlier years, we had a guy fly down from Rhode Island, and he said he was just very happy, because you go around, because you go to a lot of shows, and maybe you find G.I. Joe, but here everybody had G.I. Joe, so
right.
Well, and you meet a lot of good people too. You find a lot of good stuff, and you meet a lot of good people. That's the fun part.
Yeah. And
we're gonna have we're gonna have James DeSimone is gonna be back. He came to the show in the winter, so it was great to see James back out again at the show. Although this is, and it may be a little younger than you guys, because it's a little younger than me too. We're gonna have the guy that played Captain Power, which is a 3 3/4 figure line that came out when they had the TV show. He's going to be there. He's just starting to do shows, so that's going to be kind of neat. We last year we had Ron Rudat, who he did work on some of the 12-inch G.I. Joes when he was at Hasbro. He worked on the Seawolf comic and some other stuff, but he's really more known for creating a lot of the art and whatnot for the 3 3/4 line.
I saw that Larry Hammond was going to be somewhere. He's not going to be at your show too, is he?
No, he's going to be at Dallas. We may eventually get him down here.
Somebody's wanting to know if you ever see Pat Kelly anymore.
Oh yeah, Pat makes it out to the show every year too. So yeah, Pat used to live like 30 minutes, or no, not 30 minutes, like 10 minutes from my house. But then he moved a little further out in Kentucky, and I don't get to see him as much anymore. But he'll be there.
Well, do you have any more stories about G.I. Joe?
Well, I will tell you, I just think, because this is a funny story, that I accidentally became a Super Joe collector, and now I'm kind of the expert in Super Joe, and the fact that we're remaking them. But one of the pieces that was in the late Adventure Team line was the Challenge of the Savage River raft, and they reused that raft for Super Joe. And there was an auction on eBay that had that raft in it with the mount. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to buy that, because I want the little mount to hold the motor, and I'll sell the rest of that Super Joe stuff when I get it. But when I got the stuff in, I realized it was about 80% of everything they made for Super Joe in that collection. So at that point, I said, well, I can't really break his collection up. I got to complete it. And at that point, Super Joe was still cheap. I could get it in the boxes and whatnot. And so then after that, I started doing that, and then I hooked up with Matt McKeeby, who does the Vintage 3D Joe site, and we did the 3D Super Joe site, and then it just blew up from there. And now Super Joe's just as expensive as Bullet Man has gotten to be.
Somebody else has got a question
for that too. Yep.
Ernie has a question for you.
Our show is the Kentucky. We do two. We do a show in January, which is our smaller show, which is the G.I. Joe Winterfest. And then our summer show is the big show, is the Kentuckiana G.I. Joe Toy Expo. And it's on Facebook. We're on Facebook is KY G.I. Joe, and the website is www.kygijoe.com.
I'm going to put those links in the description after the show is over, so you'll be able to find all of this, and you can get in touch with him or the show, and you can also go and see the 3D Super Joe page that he's talking about.
Yeah, and that's www.3dsuperjoes.com.
What all does it have on there? Does it have all the equipment that they made?
It has everything that they've made, and we have the same technology that they used on the vintage 3D Joes. We have the spin technology, so you see all the uniforms on the figure. You see them spin around, so you can see all sides of them. You see the figures and the uniforms and accessories loose and in the package. And we got some other neat stuff on there that I've come across. We've got all the extra stuff they made, like they made a kid-size Super Joe ray gun. They made some posters. They made, strangely enough, and I guess it's because it was the late 70s, they made a line of Super Joe jewelry. So you had rings, you had pendants, you had bracelets, and you had money clips with all the Super Joe characters on them. So it's neat stuff. And then also through collecting, I've picked up 2 actual copies of Super Joe commercials, and then working with Ace Allgood, we got them converted into digital, so we got very clean copies of 2 of the television commercials on the site. And I also have gotten some brochures that show pictures of the prototypes of what the Super Joe was looking like while they were working through it. So it's got a lot of neat stuff. And it's got, because they use the Super Joe body overseas in some different lines, and we've got a section of that where you see some of the Super Joe stuff had a life after the line stopped.
What did they use Super Joe for overseas? What did they do there?
Well, there was a couple of things when they because over at Palatoy in the UK, they were still making G.I. Joe. They released it as a line, and they called it Commander Power. Down in Mexico, they released the line as Siglo XXX, 30th, which translates to 30th century, and they had the characters in there. And they're slightly different, the materials, because they were made down in Mexico, so they use different materials. And then also there's a couple of early anime cartoons. One which was like Battle of the Planets. They released a Battle of the Planets figure using the Super Joe body. There was another one that is called Goldorak, which is really where the big the Shogun Warriors came from. That was the line that they pulled the Shogun Warriors out for Mattel and sold them, and so they had some humans in that cartoon, and so then they used the Super Joe bodies to make the humans from that cartoon. So there's some other, it's just kind of neat, and you just kind of fall across some of this stuff as you're out there looking around.
Oh yeah, I didn't know they did that at all.
Yeah, have you been able to pick up any of those foreign?
Oh yeah. I've gotten all of them, and all of them. I think I've got all of them loose. There's still some packaged ones I'm looking for. Some of them are really tough to get, but if you see it on the website, that's my collection. So if you go to the page and there's not one on there, that means I either haven't photographed it yet or I don't have it yet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are the Super Joes that are overseas, are they parts interchangeable with the U.S. versions?
Oh yeah, they're the same. They're the same. The funny thing is, for the Goldorak series that they did, they've used all the regular Super Joe accessories, which look absolutely nothing like what was in the cartoon. But they were already made up, so they just went ahead and used them. One of the other really cool things I have on the 3D site is I came across a set of photographs from the Hasbro showroom in New York for the 1978 release of Super Joe, and so this would be how it was set up for Toy Fair and whatnot. And in there they have a life-size Super Joe figure and a life-size Gore figure, which was Super Joe's enemy, and so they look really cool.
Wow.
I don't have those though.
I wonder where they are.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Try to find them?
Hopefully somebody they'll pop up somewhere and somebody will reach out.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any
That's cool.
figures from Super Joe, Rick?
No, I never collected that line. Never
How
got
about
into
you?
it.
How about you, Stacy? You got any?
I do not. I did get one. I don't usually throw toys away, but I threw that one away. I didn't like it at all. I really did not like it. So I know Angelo's distaste for Bullet Man, and that would be mine, I guess. I couldn't. I just felt like I was cheating.
Oh yeah. When I was a kid and Super Joe came out, I hated it. Because G.I. Joe was 12. I didn't even like muscle bodies when I was a kid. I liked the regular G.I. Joes with the hard hands. I was even non kung fu grip. He had to have those regular hard hands, and so when the Super Joe come out, it was like, no, not for me. And so then that's why I think it's funny now. I'm the expert on it.
Well, one year I was at Joe Lanta, and I bought about 4 carded figures of Super Joe just because they had them in a bin for $1 a piece. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna pick them up. And then I was able to sell those to people that did collect Super Joe for a little bit more profit than $1. But I never really got into it, and now I'm kind of looking back and saying, that's interesting. I'm going to have to go look at your site too. Murray says the site looks fantastic.
Well, thank you, Murray. Yeah, it's a fun, and again, that's another one where I built a site. Like if I was going to look for something, how would I like to find it? And I did base some of it off of what Matt had done on the vintage 3D Joes and what Carson had done with the 3D Joe for the 3 3/4 figures back in the day.
Right. Well, the thing about all of these figures, and I want to ask you here in a second something, but the thing about all these figures is that not only do they remind us of our childhood, but they also I think they keep our childhood alive.
Exactly.
I know I'm an old man, but I can get my Joes out.
Who you calling old?
I can get my toys out and play. I ran across this one day. Let me minimize him here for just a second. But I ran across this on one of the sites, and
cool.
I don't know whether the guy knew who it was or knew what he had or whatever, but he said, who'll give me $5 for it? Do you know I couldn't move fast enough?
I'll give you 10.
$5. And
I want you to make your $5 back. I'll give you 10, and I'll pay to ship it to me.
No. You see, this is what this hobby does for us. It brings us happiness and joy and excitement. It's like going to the toy store all over again. That's what it is.
That's why I think part of the shows are just walking around and seeing the stuff, and then if we have several people that come out, oh yeah, I had that, and that's kind of the fun part of it.
Yeah, I don't like Super Joe, not at all. See these? You see these?
What you got? Some Super Joe clothes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, those are the ones.
Clothes, but
right here, the red one is the one I found in the package, unopened, for $1.
Oh wow! Yeah, and I got that one, and then the yellow one. So I don't know.
Yeah,
they're good. There's nothing wrong with them.
So what would be your favorite figure of all time, Steve? You have one, or maybe a uniform?
It has to be I think it has to be the deep sea diver.
Oh,
12-inch deep sea diver. Yeah, that was the
would
first
that
one. I
be
remember
Boiling Lagoon, or would that be 60s?
Well, the first one I ended up saving my money for was 8 Ropes of Danger. and that was
Okay,
with the
okay.
octopus and the treasure
Right.
chest, and that was
Right.
now the first set that I said I went back and we saw the first G.I. Joe I got as a kid, but the first one I remember getting and playing with was the Secret of the Mummy's Tomb. So that's probably my close second. So I'd say the Deep Sea Diver and then the Mummy's Tomb sets are the two favorite. And with my Mummy's Tomb set, I had a Sea Adventure, redheaded bearded guy, and that was my Joe.
It's the only way to go.
Yep.
Didn't Angelo just do a set with the different size Joes of the Mummy? Didn't he do that?
Yeah.
I thought I
he got
just saw it.
somebody 3D printed the ATV for him. He put the set together. It came out really nice.
Was
cool.
he selling that set or just showing what he had?
Oh, he was selling it. I didn't know he was going to sell it.
I think he was like he usually does. He makes like 5 sets, and that's all he makes. Pretty
Okay.
sure. Yeah. So
Yeah, Murray said that's a good pick. Did you have a swimming pool, or where did you take your diver to, Steve?
No, I didn't. He was a dry land diver. It was all imagination.
mine spent a lot of time in the bathtub.
You didn't do the bathtub thing?
It wasn't deep enough.
Oh, well, I mean, still, at least he gets wet.
Yeah,
That was a good. That was a good set. Probably one of the best.
Yeah, it was. I had hours of fun. My mom would get out of the bathroom. You're in there for 6 hours. I would literally be in there for 6 hours. She would forcibly have to come in and yank me out of the tub.
Somebody says they put theirs in an aquarium.
Oh, I didn't have an aquarium. I wish I would have had one.
no.
Yeah, we never
I would
had
have gotten in trouble because it'd have been water everywhere.
I saw someone the other day. Now I wish I'd grabbed that picture, but on one of the groups, he did the deep sea diver in an aquarium, but there was no water in it. But he just made an entire display inside that aquarium, and man, it looked neat.
Yeah.
No,
People are
cool.
commenting saying the swimming pool was a great adventure, and I love my diver. Great set.
Yeah.
Well, we've just about come to the time of the show where it's time to ask you the questions, the dreaded questions that nobody wants to ask and nobody wants to answer. But Rick is now going to ask you some questions that will tell us some things about you there, Steve.
Are you familiar with the questions, Steve? Have you seen this bit?
I am not. I have not.
Nice knowing you, Steve.
These questions have been calibrated by the Toys Are Fun lab.
What happened to the old lab? Oh, was that the one you told me it burned down?
Yeah, we rebuilt it.
Murray said he wants to see the mayonnaise jar.
It's fermenting in the corner. You don't want to see it. It's not pretty. Anyway, Steve, once you answer these questions, all these lovely viewers, and we've got quite a few viewers tonight, Big Boss Jack and Murray, Keith Ward, Ernie's Attic, Action Joe Figures is here. So they're all going to know everything about you once you're done answering these questions. So are you ready?
All right, let's go.
All right. What, in your opinion, is the best sandwich?
Cuban sandwich.
It's a G.I. Joe sandwich. No. I like a Cuban.
What's your favorite action movie?
King Kong.
The original?
Yes, the 33. Although I do have a real soft spot for the 76 one.
How come?
Just like it was one I went to see as a kid and just really enjoyed it, and it's a fun movie. I like that it doesn't take itself so seriously.
Is that the one with the Twin Towers in it?
Yes.
The 76?
Yeah. In your opinion, Steve, what's the scariest animal?
Marie says Jessica Lange. No, I don't know.
Yeah, she was in King Kong, Jessica Lange.
Yeah.
She's not the scariest animal.
No.
Probably an angry cat.
Angry cat.
Angry
They
cat.
can be, they can be pretty vicious.
If
They
he
really
hasn't been
can.
declawed.
What's your favorite smell?
Angry cat.
Popcorn.
Oh, popcorn is good.
Popcorn. That's a good answer. I like that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, this is a tough one. You're going to have to think about it. Would you rather have the ability to fly or the ability to teleport?
Teleport. You fly, you're going to get bugs in your face.
That's right.
Teleport is quicker too.
Yeah.
What's one thing you own that you should throw out?
Super Joe. No. Sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute the red
Prob-
man here in a minute.
Sorry.
Probably too many G.I. Joes. I should probably weed some of them out.
Oh.
Oh, that's a
Well, let me give you my address there, Steve.
That's why we have the show.
Yes. Yeah.
We have one of the bigger booths in the show.
Yeah.
Steve. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
No.
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 Oh, okay, we'll take that.
You blew his bubble there. But
I had a buddy that used to. He was in our group. He passed away, Wolfman, and he Bob Bratcher, Wolfman, and he would go out and he believed that he saw him a couple of times, but my doubts are there.
He was in Wolfman was on Facebook for a little bit there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Unfortunately, we
remember him.
lost him a couple of years ago.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Rick is heartbroken now.
How this is I shouldn't ask this question now. I have to. Do you sing in the shower?
No.
No, and you don't believe in Bigfoot. Oh,
I know. Disappointing.
Oh,
That's
Rick, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's gonna be all right.
I don't sing in the shower either. I don't. Have you ever seen a UFO?
I have not.
You have not.
Do you
Okay.
believe in UFOs?
Yeah.
Well, of course, I believe there are things that we don't know what they are. Whether they're actually little green men from another planet, I'm not sure about.
Well, that's why they're called a UFO,
Yeah.
because it's an unidentified flying object, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Whole question. All right, last question, and this one, think hard on this one. How would you spend your last day on Earth?
That's a tough one.
Look at it from outside the box. Look at the question from outside the box.
Probably with family, just that way.
That's good.
Before you board the spaceship to go to the next planet. Right? See where I'm going with this?
With Bigfoot.
The Bigfoot's
Yeah,
driving.
with Bigfoot.
The cryptids have their own spaceship to go on.
Yeah, and I bet the stewardess would serve Cuban sandwiches.
Yes. Absolutely. There you go, Steve.
Good enough.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
now-
being a good sport.
And now
Oh,
we
no
know all
problem.
about you.
Now
What would
everyone
you
knows
do?
everything about you.
Yeah.
When they see you at your show, they're gonna bring you a Cuban sandwich probably.
Yeah, they're gonna bring y'all bring him a Cuban sandwich.
There could be worse things.
Let me ask you a question there, Steve. If you could do something for the maybe for the 12-inch hobby or for the maybe to get Hasbro to bring back something, what would you try to bring back if you could, if it was possible?
And I think this is kind of if you look at some of the sets we've done for the show, is to just I'd like more Adventure Team stuff. That's what I grew up on. That's what I'd like
Yeah,
to see. I
buddy.
like the little the artwork on the boxes, the accessory sets and stuff like that. And that's usually the first thing in my mind when we start designing a set for the show is is it going to be something kind of adventure themed? Well, is it going to have an animal in it that he's hunting down or tracking, and a treasure to find or something? And that was the fun stuff. That's what I'd like to see.
Well, will you please go by Greg's booth, Greg Arturo, and look at the, he's going to have the prototype that him and I have been working on for over a year now. And it's called The Legendary Adventures of the Adventure Team. Go by and look at it and kind of give me your feedback on it. Tell me what you think about it. We haven't done. Go ahead.
I will. Greg's a good guy. Greg, I love the inflatable tank that he's doing.
Yes.
He's gonna do a presentation for us at the show too. So it's gonna be fun.
Right. He's a good guy. And this set we're working on, we've kicked around a lot of different ideas. And like you just said about the adventure team, that's what we wanted to do. Was we wanted to bring something out. But this is going to be like the adventures of the adventure team before the adventure team.
Oh, cool! I like that.
Yeah. It's just a really neat idea. So just let us know what you think about it. Y'all got any more questions for our guests tonight?
Nope, I'm good.
No, yep.
I want to thank
Steve.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here tonight. Glad to hang out with you guys, and hopefully we can get y'all up to Kentucky or down to Kentucky or over to Kentucky at some time for one of the shows in the future.
Well, the thing that's most important is people like you that keep doing this. It keeps our hobby alive. Yeah. And, if you can support him, go out to the Kentucky show, tell him we sent you, and you'll get nothing. You won't even get a button. I think Dave Roth, if I'm saying his name right, he always makes a button for everybody that goes to the Mark show. And I brought buttons one year to Joe Atlanta, and I tried to give them out, and nobody wanted a button.
We did buttons for our show a couple of years, but we haven't done that in a while. And I was pleased. I was setting up at another toy show somewhere, and a guy was walking around, had one of our buttons on. So that was
Isn't
neat.
That awesome?
Yep.
I love
it's
it.
The little things, isn't it?
It is. It is. Well, y'all have a good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. We've had a blast having you on the show.
It's been fun.
And I hope everybody that's been a part of the show tonight enjoyed themselves. I hope you'll like, share, comment, subscribe, get the word out, and let's keep this stuff going, okay? And remember, toys are fun, and we love it. Night, everybody.